to know where the evacuation zones are and where the areas are where you're going to aggregate and collect and find your friends and loved ones. And so, like I said, Japan has a very good system like this. Hawaii does as well. Not every country does so. So, you know.
Well, we know that Japan is in a struck that very same area in Japan, that one measuring around 7.8. That was on Wednesday, earlier this week.
Has certainly caused a lot of problems. And so even a relatively small aftershock could topple buildings, for example. So it is a big hazard.
It goes all the way up to Russia, Guam, Taiwan, the Philippines, Indonesia, as well as Hawaii itself. So that warning would be for all these countries.
Primarily is toward the...
but in terms of human life as well.
Television, all public transport in the capital has been stopped. Rail passengers have been left to walk along the lines. The quake, which is the biggest island that makes up Japan and one of the most populated as well. And the quake has prompted warnings of a tsunami. In some areas, the water level could rise up to 6 meters, according to the Tsunami Warning Center, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii. And there are already reports of a 1 meter high wall of water hitting the east coast of Japan. In fact, these pictures that we're looking at here show some of that water that's hit the coast, a wave of water that came off the coast, washed up on land. We can see it over there. These are the latest pictures that we're getting from Japanese television. The quake struck mid-afternoon Japanese time, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's on Friday, and the epicenter was about 125 kilometers off the eastern coast, and as we've been reporting, at a very shallow depth of 24 meters. And when a quake strikes at that depth, very shallow, it can cause a lot of damage. Now, the blaze that you saw just a few minutes ago, 3%. The quake was felt as far away as the the Chinese capital of Beijing. And as we've been reporting, that earthquake that struck off the east coast of Japan measured 8.9 in magnitude. That magnitude has just been upgraded by authorities at the Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii. It struck off the northeast coast.
But obviously that can't extend all the way up and down the coast, as we're seeing in these pictures. The recent seismic activity has prompted a great deal of...
the magnitude 8.8 earthquake could generate a tsunami of up to 20 meters in height. There was a tsunami of a meter in height which hit the east coast. We're looking at these pictures coming to us from Japanese television, showing us a wave of water sweeping on land, sweeping everything in sight there. It's washed away cars and torn away at buildings right along there, along the coastline. Our correspondent, Harry Fawcett, is in Kuala Lumpur. He's been monitoring developments there. Harry, what's the latest you have there from the...
Well, it seems, as you can see on air on these incredible pictures, the tsunami is making its way ever further south down the coast of Honshu towards Tokyo. Even in the last few minutes, we've had a report from the Agence France Presse agency that the parking lot at the Tokyo Disneyland to the epicenter of the earthquake. We understand it was about 120 kilometers off the coast, and the first waves of water.
Gli edifici a Tokyo hanno fortemente tremato, la gente è scesa in strada presa dal panico, i trasporti sono stati sospesi, fermi i treni e chiuso l'aeroporto di Tokyo. Al momento le notizie parlano di numerosi feriti, ci sono anche notizie di incendi sulla costa. Le autorità hanno lanciato l'allerta tsunami ai massimi livelli. L'agenzia meteorologica giapponese ha parlato di un rischio di onde anomale fino a 10 metri di ampiezza, soprattutto nelle prefetture di Miyagi e Ibaraki.
Was that there were no sensors out in the sea to warn people of a tsunami advancing down on them, and then there was a lot of money that was spent to put those sensors out in the sea so that people would know when a tsunami was coming down. Would that have been operational today?